George, you don't need to do that because like it's all audio. Like,
Which on camera. Jeez.
Oh, I forgot it was on camera.
right, okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Off the Shelf Hobby Podcast, the only podcast that we're recording at this very moment in time, which is now on Spotify. Yay!
Yep.
Yeah, it's on Spotify.
Nice. Oh, that was actually
let's
quite easy then, huh?
So we're on Spotify. We're on Google. We're on the Googs. That sounds like a slur. Never mind that one. We're also waiting on iTunes because Apple are a bitch apparently and take an absolute age to verify podcasts. So
Apple
yeah,
a bitch.
Us now.
Oh, that's a surprise.
it's fine. It's a distribution platform. I'm not doing it directly.
True.
With me as we did before, and I will say it has been a while since we last did this because Christmas and New Year's and alcohol and lots of other things got involved. But we're doing it now, and it's now going to be weekly. Huzzah! For the recorded episodes after today, will usually go up. We should go up on Fridays, at least on Spotify, and whenever over the weekend for other platforms. The video version will go out on Mondays. So there is a video version available for the. By the time that this will hit, by the time that this will get to Spotify. And when you're listening to this, if you're not listening to it live, tomorrow on Spotify, which it will be Friday, episode 1 will be up already, and then episode 2 will go up on the following Monday. With me this week, I'm joined by previous hosts, Raymond Knightspear, aka Alex.
Hello. Hello.
RedChameleos, aka George.
Hey.
The Supreme Chaos Dwarf himself, Confused Heretic.
I'm not that short, but yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello.
And unfortunately, John, we don't know where he's gone. So we've done what everyone does when they're looking for a lost child. We put him on a carton of milk. So if you have seen John, please contact me on my Twitter at GazOfAllTrades.
I thought you were gonna just put your phone number there.
Put my actual just dox myself on stream. Yeah, great plan.
No,
Absolute
your
great
house
plan.
phone.
Oh, I don't have a house phone. Who has a house phone these days?
I do. I live with my
Boomers.
parents.
Boomers, that's who.
I talked to someone earlier who had a house phone, but they had hooked their landline number to the mobile, so they used their landline number on both. I did not know you could do.
I didn't know you could do that either. That's amazing. Right, so guys, hobby stuff. Transitions are hard. Who wants to start with topics? You know, just get right into it. There's not much really we can add. Yeah, who wants to go first? Okay, I think we're pretty much all agreed. We're all going to just talk about, for most of this episode, it's going to be talking about the Blood Bowl games we've had, if we've had them already. And the pretty large amount of FAQs that just dropped for 40k.
Yeah.
Unless
Start
is there
with the big
anything
stuff,
else?
Now, there's all the new stuff that came out over Christmas and New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
I say came out. I mean was announced.
Oh yes, the
Yep.
announcements. I completely forgot about those. That's why I didn't do the podcast in the time before New
Last week.
Year's, because they were announcing stuff, and I completely forgot they announced anything. Because they
Slanesh.
basically announced Slanesh stuff, and that's it. So should we cover that first? Get that out the way.
I love the new reveals.
Yes.
The Christmas stuff. I'd say start with that, and then we'll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it up now.
Let me find the links for it.
Or rather, the Slanesh stuff, because you could just chuck in the one from New Year's.
Oh no, I have a problem. I
I've got them
fixed
both.
one menu, and then when I go to the one where we look at the website, I won't have the others. Fuck.
There you go.
Right, here we
There's the
go.
links in the chat.
Alright, let's
not
go
the
to
Christmas
this.
one,
Oh,
obviously.
look, there we go. We're just not there. Sick. Right.
Evan is solo.
Jesus. Evan's there, that's all that matters.
Evan was there when you were streaming, and he wasn't even part of the stream, right?
Yeah,
At
no,
one point.
he's just there. Hang on,
Yeah,
I gotta delete that. put that there. Right, yep. Do this. Grab that. Yep. Grab that. Yep. Yippers. There we go. I'm there. Hello, I am here now. Yeah. Oh fuck! I've just cropped myself. I apologize.
Just a mess.
Viewers in the north maybe encountering some random swearing and interference, but that's okay. It's normal.
It's fine because people on Spotify won't hear this, right, Gareth?
No, of course not. They won't see this absolute god chaos.
Right.
Which one?
It's a Christmas Day.
Yeah,
so
Christmas Day.
There's the Warhammer 40k Piety and Pain box set was shown off.
Yep.
Which is a very nice box.
It's so weird.
It's a strange one, but I like what's in it, especially for Sisters, because we've just got for Sisters it's a new model which is a Palatine.
Yep.
Palanite? No. Yeah, the Palatine.
Yeah, Paladin, yeah.
Which she's got plasma pistol, a sword,
and some beads.
and some beads. Everything a sister battle needs. I think lore wise these are like
That
lieutenants.
sounds...
I
Yeah, yeah.
think unless I'm
They're
thinking
pretty much-
prioresses.
They are low. They are rule wise too.
Yeah, I think it does say something, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then you got unit retributors and an immolator. That's it.
Is that that's quite decent as well, right?
That's
like
pretty good. That's like a full tank.
Because the emulators are nice, right? From what I know.
Yeah, those are really, really nice. They got the fancy glass windows. And
Dark
then you've
Elder
got
side
this-
is a bit of a weird one, though.
You've got this really nice Lilith Hesperex model.
Mhm.
Unit of
Really?
witches, is it?
Yeah, so you got a unit
Yeah,
of witches,
witches.
a unit of scourges, and then you've got a venom. But, like, it's such a weird thing because like nothing in that box set can go in the
Goes in-
venom.
Oh, no, it's Lilith. It's Lilith's personal venom.
Right, exactly, right. Because they can't even take anyone with her because there's only capacity 5. So
Yeah.
the big thing with this box set though is that Dark Elder get the new codex, right? So we know, like, there's
They're-
no way of knowing at the moment whether or not this box set is good.
The estimate that for the I believe for their book is February.
That was January. It was supposed to be, but
It
then
was
Rona.
supposed to be, but obviously Rona
Yeah.
and the Death Guard and Dark Angels, and releasing three codexes, new terrain piece, and a 2-player starter set is probably not going to work. I feel that's going to be too much for the 1 month. I would think.
Wait, what's the other codex? Or do you mean
Dark Angels, Death Guard. Obviously, we're gonna have
Death Guard will just come out as if it's just
a normal.
as if it already
release, yeah.
has, right?
Yeah.
It won't contribute to any other future releases. It's basically released, but obviously delivery is taking a while. I guess it's the best way to put it. Because that's what happened with.
articles for today were Death Guard ones, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Let me have a.
just a similar thing happened to the
Saga
Space
Beast?
Wolf. Yeah, Saga the Beast Wolf.
Yeah.
Hopefully, anyway. So I think these might still be on track, but obviously we've gone into a bigger lockdown now, so it might get pushed again.
where
we don't
is
know at the end of the day.
Christmas preview. There we go.
I was gonna say the link
But-
in the Discord, Gaz, if you wanna.
Yeah, no, I had the webpage open. I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the New Year's Day one.
Yeah.
But no, there's the
So-
what's this? The
That's the
the
Palatine.
Palatine. What are they called?
Yeah.
That's very, very nice.
So you got Palatine Enforcers, and then she's just the
No.
one in charge of.
No. Palanite Enforcers, right?
Are they? I thought they were Palatine.
That's Necromunda.
Yeah, no, but she's also
Yeah,
called a
yeah, yeah.
Palatine.
Yeah, but no relation.
Is this at the point where GW have finally run out of names? Has that happened? I feel like
Well,
it's
I mean,
happened now.
They've used Retributors a lot.
That's true.
They have these retributors a lot.
That's
They
very
like to
true.
retribute. Yeah, so Palatine is like a feudal lord,
Mm,
sort
Yeah.
of. Which
Yeah.
is a weird one for a sisters thing,
yeah.
but they could have just made a prioress. Look how shredded Lilith is. Lilith looks so cool.
She looks a bit. She's weirdly wide though. I think in one of the images.
Yeah.
I think it's the
Like-
angle.
Yeah, it's the. It's not.
Yeah, I don't mind her being too wide though, 'cause I don't want her to be too skinny because she is a strong
No.
woman. Like,
It's not. That's the thing. She shouldn't be skinny, but it's more like I feel like her torso. She should be taller in the torso, not thinner, but she needs more like height in her like spine.
Is this Lilith we're talking about?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there she
My
is. There's the
problem is
model
she has
by
a long,
herself.
she has a really long neck.
Yeah.
Like weirdly long.
That's what
But,
I'm saying. It feels
yeah.
like the neck should be shorter, and like the entire torso should be a bit longer upwards. But
Hey,
you know,
bonus
that's
though.
nitpicking. Overall, it's fucking great.
Oh yeah, it's a lovely model. Also, we get the first look at the new Guardian model.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there it is down there, having a great time.
That's actually one of the new undead kits.
Nice. New undead
Oh,
faction.
Eldar Craftworld casualties confirmed.
Yeah. The thing is, the Pie Team Pain. I feel like the Sisters one is good, but it's not really it's not a 2-player starter set. You know.
No, it's not. It's
That's what I was saying. It's more like a booster box, right?
It feels that way. Yeah. It feels like this is just a box you split with a friend.
this is something I would maybe pick up if I was a Sisters player.
You are a Sisters player.
If you already need,
I know I am a Sisters
if you
player, but
didn't
the thing is,
need all
I already
of
have
this,
it. It's
Like,
probably
yeah.
a case of this is worth an immolator and maybe half of a character, price-wise, if you split it.
Yeah. And then you just get,
then you get
know,
Retributors.
you get the 2 Retributors for free. Well, one squad of Retributors, sorry.
Yeah.
You get a lot on the Dark Elder side. Obviously, the point's different. They're probably going to try and match it on points to an extent.
I think it's power they try and match it on.
Yeah. I feel that with this, with looking at this, this box, I mean, this is my thinking, is like when I mentioned about the Death Guard Codex and this kind of not coming out straight away, is because if this book's coming out, or if this is coming out, we know the Dark Eldar have got their Codex. The Sisters aren't going to be far behind, because they're going to at least need a 9th edition Codex. We obviously,
True.
like here's the thing, it's like, that yes, they got like the most recent self-type, like its own Codex, because obviously it was the start of the Psychic Awakening stuff.
It was a year ago.
It was exactly,
Almost.
yeah,
Just under.
almost a year ago.
Just over, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but obviously, like, in reality, we're like, oh, but they probably don't need it, and obviously there's a lot of changes that the army will go through. They've already got a lot changed on the FAQ based on the stuff that happens to the Marines, and also all the Crusade stuff, new relics and this thing. Obviously, they're going to get a new book. There's probably isn't going to be as robust, because they already had a very robust system, so I think it might be this, the Dark Elder, this will come out, Dark Elder will be very short behind this book, or at the same time, and then Sisters will be just after.
Yeah.
So-
I would say
so-
Sisters don't need it.
Sisters don't need it, which means that technically they could have an easier time making the codex,
Yeah,
because most of it will be the same.
yeah. Which is not
But,
a
yeah.
problem.
No, it's not a problem. The Sisters codex is fucking fantastic. One of the
They
better
could just
ones.
do a change in some of the other sub-factions, because currently Bloody Rose is really big.
But
Yeah.
the thing is with Sisters though is that the model Sisters use as a codex is pretty much what most of the new ones use. Although the new ones have things like Crusade and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like a few other things.
Yeah.
Also,
they don't have a build your own order though, which would be cool.
No, yeah, true. So I think they will get one. I guess it would make sense for them to do it recently. To do it sooner.
Yeah.
Just because this box is out, right? So yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if if they're the February codex. It wouldn't really surprise me too much. That's if there's one in February, because obviously we know this releases in February.
Yeah, because
they're quite big.
Yeah, they haven't confirmed a release date, but it kind of falls in the timeline of considering Death Guard got pushed back, Dark Angel's coming out at the same time, and they also did say a Xenos Codex would come out in January. They did confirm. They did say that. I don't think they haven't said it's not coming out in January.
No, yeah. So far, at the moment, everything's on schedule except for Death Guard. That's all we know.
Yeah, and Death Guard obviously because there was a lot of shit happening over Christmas. They were more focusing on just getting models out, which they did,
Yeah.
and a lot of the Christmas boxes were fantastic. I'm hoping to pick up an Ogre one as soon as possible, because I get fucking Iron Guts, which I can't get normally without having to go straight to GW. I get a Gargan, which is cool. So you got to give it props to them, especially because of how things are at the moment. That GW still pumping out a lot of this stuff. Have clearly got a safe work environment, and it seems to be paying off. Like a little delay of a month for a codex for when people aren't playing, it's not that bad. It's honestly not that bad. Especially because they're getting a new terrain piece.
I forgot
Yeah.
to
As
get
a,
it.
as a Death Guard player, I really don't care that they're coming late.
There we go. Evan speaks for all of them, all Death Guard
Yeah.
players. But yeah,
I'm the Herald of
But
Nurgle.
then in February, that's when the next thing is supposed to come out, as
What,
far
mate?
as we know, which is the Hedonites of Slanesh.
oh,
Battle
this
tome.
spice. Annoyingly, right? No, okay. As you all know, with me, I don't like chaos.
Yeah.
It's not the law. I don't mind that. What I don't like about chaos is the aesthetic. I'm not a fan of the aesthetic in a lot of different ways. I don't like how Nurgle looks, but I like the lore for Nurgle. And for, like, the Death Guard, I prefer the cleaner looking Death Guard with the white armor, like the Horus Heresy era patterned armor, and it just look gorgeous. I love that. Plague Marines, as they are, obviously, are very stylistically pleasing to those kinds of people, not me. Same with
Very
things
cool.
like Khorne Berserkers and things like that. It's all spiky and, yeah, not a fan. When I saw the models they showed off for this, I was kind of tempted.
They're good, isn't it?
They look really cool, and
They're so smooth.
we can talk about, because they've got the book.
Yeah, here's a way
they've
of
got the
putting it. They
book
are
here.
smooth.
And we mentioned before, was it on this podcast we mentioned? Obviously, yes, it was. It was talking about Sigvald coming back.
Yeah.
That was in the last episode, and then obviously these are the rest of his boys, and him coming back is beckoning the new codex. And you can also see something down here, which we'll get to in a bit, which was one of the New Year's Day reveals. And the model kits they've got, that reutilizing some of the stuff for the core Slaneshi demons, which were like the Seekers. These Seeker cavalry are actually really cool.
Mate, the
One
new
is actually
Seekers-
opening its mouth. Yes.
Yeah, get those little extra details, and they've got fucking glaives and shit.
You're looking at sorry, are you looking at the Christmas Day ones?
Yeah, we're still looking at the Christmas Day ones because they showed off the models. Like the Slaneshi, at least in Sigma, the Slaneshi aesthetic is very much like gladiatorial arena kind of thing.
Yeah,
if you
they're
think about it.
very.
Greek,
they take a lot
Roman.
of armor from like Roman Greece. Yeah,
And I'm a
I think-
fan of that aesthetic. Like I like.
Yeah,
that.
same. Which is annoying because obviously, well, not annoying. Well, I've got like a full slaves to Darkness army now that I need to build. I got literally got my last of it got done of it today.
Nice.
And now they're just like, here's some Greek boys, and I'm just like,
Oh, you
okay.
bastard.
But I,
Look.
but that's not gonna. I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't.
It's okay. We'll just all live vicariously through Tom.
Mhm.
Yeah, but so Tom, yeah. Tom will get this one. Tom will read
It looks like as well these the first one's the Exalted riding their sleek blade seekers, being the ones where it looks like to have glaives, no sword and board, but they just have long weapons, which makes sense. And then the other option for that kit is going to be the Bliss Barb Seekers, which are bowmen. So you've got
I love them.
Your two flavors of cavalry. Cannot complain.
So that's the thing. So the first lot are very Greek looking with shit, what those helmets are called. You know, those type of helmets. And then the second ones are they're more like Asian inspired, I guess.
Yeah,
The
it's
top thing.
Persian.
Yeah,
They're
very
very
Persian.
Persian.
It's very much
It's just-
Mesopotamia, Persia, that kind of general area
Yeah,
influence.
it's just so cool. And like they're also just archer cavalry. Yes, of course they're gonna be cool as fuck to use.
Mm,
Like we're not like archer cavalry is just fun.
yeah. We've also got these lovely, as they call them, slangors.
Man.
Yeah.
So
Which
when they
look
showed
really
the first one off
cool.
in Underworlds, I immediately looked at these and went, man,
I want loads. I want
we
lots
need
of them.
we need more of these. Because they're just good. Like we don't have any good Beastman models. The best ones are in Blood Bowl.
Yeah, a
But
lot
even
of the old bleed.
even
Like,
those
the Beast of
aren't
Chaos
great.
book is fine. Like, it's an interesting book. The models are just
Yeah.
the Warhammer Fantasy models, which they never updated.
Yeah.
They never
Well,
needed
there's,
to.
the Zango models are pretty good.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
and
think
Zangors. I forgot about
no,
Zangors.
the Zangors are good. I think the giant Beastman one is. I think that's a.
No, sorry, not the Bolgor. The Cygor and the something else.
Yeah, the Cygor I think is a good model. Like, I really like the aesthetic of that, and I thought I was legitimately thinking at one point to make a Beast of Chaos army. I thought that'd be quite interesting with Bulgors and this, that, and the other. This, on the other hand, is a really good blend of both of that, and because obviously they are Gors of some sort, you may even be allowed to run them in a Beast of Chaos
You can. You can. So I'm pretty sure you can because of how
Yeah,
because
so
of how building armies works in
Yeah.
Warhammer in general.
Mm.
Is that so? I think it's similar to Sleepless Darkness. So Beastmen, it's any one with the Beastman keyword can be in your Beastman army, right?
Yeah.
So that means that these can slot right in because they have the right keyword for it. I think the same thing applies to some of the Mortal Slanesh stuff. I think they can just be slotted into a Nurgle army, maybe. Not a Nurgle, into a Slaves of Darkness army.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not as sure about that, but I'm pretty sure these will be able to. If they don't, that would suck. So it'd just be there'd be no good reason for it, right?
Mm.
But
Yeah,
we'll
so-
we'll see.
currently in the book there is like actual Zangor detachments and stuff in there.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they'll actually have to like add those in manually, or they will just let you take them.
They'll
Well,
probably
you take them, but it
do
won't
it
be
like an extra
detachments.
thing. They may even give us like, hey, you know, because I think there are. I saw people running like with Slaneshi endless spells in a Beastman list because you can kind of do that. So fair
Yeah.
enough.
So as long as you have a wizard that can with a Zinch keyword or Slanesh keyword, you can just take the other spells for it. That's how it works. It's great.
And then finally we got the Blissbub archers on foot, which is they're accompanied by a homunculus who cooks up toxic concussions, which it's a good thing.
The Brazier game.
Yeah. This. Oh, there we go. He's got the pot. The nice thing is, I will say, and it's a shame that it's only happened through the Slaneshi release in Age of Sigmar, but we are getting very diverse models. We are getting both genders.
All of Sigmar's like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really
40k, on the other hand, just can't because it's just such a ingrained.
That's it old,
thing.
isn't it? They'd have. They'll get around to it when they actually fucking release like new ranges of models.
Nah.
Other
Yeah.
than
Imagine
like,
having new models.
A lot of the 40k factions are just dudes.
they've literally done.
dudes
What have
doing
they done? They've done the woman army in the Sororitas. They've done the Space Marines, and then they've done robots.
Oh.
That's all they've pretty much done recently.
So
like,
I,
yeah,
I'm
it'd be
a
nice
fan
for them
of
to
these
make a more
models. These
diverse,
look really
interesting
cool.
army. Like, I'd love to see more like just guardsman models and stuff, but we'll see.
Let's go to tone you down a little bit, Alex. Just you're peaking a bit for me.
Oof, my bad.
However, like again, a lot of this stuff looks cool, and I don't think there was much else on this front because when it came round to the New Year's Day preview, because I don't think there was another preview after that. One slight mention we can make. Slight mention we can make. We got to see that Bretonia does actually exist now, technically, in the Warhammer Fantasy, however it looks.
It's on the map, and we showed the map once before a year ago, and now this is also on the map. Who fucking cares? It doesn't mean anything. Like we know Bretonia is in the Mortal Realms.
It's just people confirming that they will have a model line, and King Luan Leonker is now called Luan Orc Slayer for some fucking reason. And that's all we could really say on that front.
It's 300 years before.
Yeah, it's Horus Heresy. It's Horus Heresy Old World.
Okay, so yeah. Oh right, okay, that
but
makes
it's just like
sense.
So for me, it's very much the
There we go.
So they announced this fucking ages ago, right?
Yeah.
We've seen a tiny bit of model stuff, I think, for Norse, wasn't it? Not Norse.
No, it was Kislev.
Kislev. That's it. And then now it's like been a year or two, and they're like, oh, Bretonia will be there. Like, cool, but if those Kislev were shown ages ago, and they're going to be like the first thing that's probably still going to be ages away, Bretonia's going to be another 2 years after that probably, or 3 because it's fucking Forge World.
Yeah, I feel that, especially because we won't dwell on it too much because there's not really much to say, but I would think that when it comes to the Old World, if we're going to see anything about it this year, it's going to be on when Warhammer Day would be. Their big fucking reveals.
Definitely.
We'll get a big reveal to say, right, this is what the Old World will be, this is what it looks like, this is how it plays, this is what we've been working on for the past 3 to 4 years. Here's the last book that's coming up, book 10 for Horus Heresy, and then that's the transition, because that's all that's left for the Horus Heresy is the Battle of Terra, and the rules for fighting on Terra, and what happened at that point.
Aren't they still missing loads of models?
They're missing models, yeah, but they're not missing rules. They'll still produce the models, but once the rule book is done, it's like, right, the main part of the team is going to move on to, or whoever isn't on the team, whoever needs to move across will move across, and they will make sure to get the models out, and then everything else will fall into place.
Yeah.
But that's all we can really say on that. Look, it exists. There's an article for it. We gotta wait until the end, like later into the year. I'm excited for it. Don't get me wrong, but there's really nothing to say. Things we can talk about though.
There's one thing I want to say about the archers though for the Slanesh stuff, and it's that they're posed like the way they're standing on the bases and everything is so fucking good because there's so many GW models where their like foot stance is just garbage. They just it just like they've always got this generic like hero pose, I guess, where their legs are way too spread out.
Yeah.
They're just a bit uncomfortable. But all of these are just fucking posed really nicely.
Yeah.
It's just
because it's a lot of Slanesh. It's a lot of Slanesh-y stuff, and again, like it's very tempting. If we were looking at when it came to Slanesh-y stuff, and we were talking that, you know, you're talking the Zack Schneider 300 version of what was his name? The bad guy.
No.
The bad guy from 300.
I know who you mean. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Fuck.
Whatever his name is.
Yes, I don't.
No, it's not Perseus. No, it's not.
Persia, but said different.
Yeah, but like we're talking that kind of thing. Xerxes, right? And then we've got this guy, Glutus Osculion, the Lord of Gluttony. This is the most Slaneshi model I have ever seen.
Oh, that's great.
And it's not. The nice thing is, it's not just about a sex thing, which is what everyone always like. People and the people who don't understand the law properly will always say, "Ha ha, Slaneshi BDSM demons." No. It is excess. This is excess. You've got a person who is entirely covered, even their skin, in gold. You have got a giant fat man in the back being served by a halfling.
Because they make the best food.
Exactly, but that's the confirmation. Our first halfling model in Age of Sigmar, there he is. He's right there, and it's kind of hard to see in terms of the... Obviously, for audio listeners, there is in the middle of the model a tiny black-robed with halfling holding a plate with like a tentacle on it, serving it up to the Lord. But again, this is like the first thing we've seen of a halfling. You know, it's a shy reference, but this is on the same kind of tier of Catacross, and I agree. I always thought that Catacross was an interesting model because there was so many different things going on. You had multiple things. You had not just him on the top, but you had his retainers all around him, and they all came as one piece, and it worked together, and it was a really nice set piece. This is another one of those, but it's a fucking chariot, and it looks so cool.
Oh yeah, there's so much stuff I love about the chariot. Like the massive like ogres that are towing it with fucking claws. Like,
yeah,
that's just
those
cool.
look really cool. And one of them's got 3 arms.
I'm just saying. One of the best things that come out of these new models is the fact that all of these claws are going to be great for Blood Bowl conversion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's nice. I like the guy at the back. I just love he's just straight. He is just straight chilling.
He's just having a big chill. He's got a staff with a face in it. He's got multiple tentacles.
Multiple lines. He's got like a fucking...
I always thought... Oh no, he has an arm. He has a left arm. It's just the tentacles are just coming out in his shoulder and underneath it. Just holding stuff.
Do you think this guy is a wizard?
I think of course he is. Definitely. Look at that staff. Of course he is.
I reckon he's going to have a bunch of...
He'd be a priest.
Yeah, he's going to have a bunch of abilities, maybe be a priest, but I don't think he's a wizard.
I don't think this is a priest. So...
Sorry, I want him to be a priest because it's kind of like the Chaos War Shrine, so that'd be quite a cool mirror to have. But I can see him just being a wizard because GW like being wizards.
Yeah.
Or both.
Or both.
I can see it being both.
One thing
because you have the Peacock Woman doing ritual shit. That could be wizard stuff, who knows?
I will say one bonus thing, especially with this, is just because the teaser in the middle was of the people cut the marble kind of statues holding something up, and there was a whole range of what people thought that was going to be, and it's the fact it's here. It's such a nice effect, and it's because like a lot of, again for the audio listeners, a lot of it is like a marble chariot pulled by ogres with big claws. There's people on it. There's obviously the fat guy in the middle with tentacles and eating loads of food and covered in jewelry. But because of how the chariot is, it really allows people to kind of get very creative in terms of how they actually paint marble effects. And also we'll get a GW video of how to paint marble, which means we'll see more effects like that in more common tiers of the hobby, instead of just it being a high tier painter only thing. It's like, oh, people who are starting to get into the hobby is like, oh, I really want to try and do marble flooring on my bases. I think that'd be quite cool, especially for a Custodes army. You know, it's like, oh, here's how to paint marble. I would love to see one of those things. You know, I think that's a really cool aesthetic to go with.
The only thing that is slightly disappointing about this model is the fact that the little snake boy from the Ruber engine is not a living creature. It's just a thing holding up the umbrella in this.
Oh yeah,
And,
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. He's literally just holding an umbrella.
Yep. But no, this mod's great. It's good.
Bear with me a second. I was just updating the.
It's funny how much like a little bit of color can throw something off.
I know, right?
Okay, I just can't update. Can someone check the I think the Twitch is... Yeah, okay, the Twitch is update, that's fine. It's just the
Twitch has been playing up a little bit.
Yep.
I think it's doing okay now.
Yeah, for some reason, yeah, Twitch is just being weird. But oh, there's so much with this model, and it's gorgeous, and I love it. And
that Arknight's fan art on your Twitter.
You saw nothing. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know, one, why it's there, and two, I was really hoping it wasn't porn. That's the danger. I should really put this into a separate window. Oh no, that's just a dress now. Fuck. Let me change.
My Twitch is actually uploaded. Very sad.
Right. There we go. Fixed it. We can't have that problem anymore. There you go. I can't get banned. This is very slapdash. We played Blood Bowl, and then people disappeared, and then we never started on time. So, because of course not. Oh, I will say, at least, just a side note from this as well, because there are other things showed off in that little trailer. Mostly, it was just the chariot. It was just this Lord of Gluttony, but there was also mentions for the same few parts of the AdMech model they showed off last time, so they just repeated that.
Yeah,
it is the exact same, right?
It is. It is straight up the exact same like pan of the leg. There was a show, like a teaser for an Adeptus Titanicus model. Probably going to be I think they're called Ravager Titans, the ones that have the giant cannons on their back. Something like that. It's like a new big Titan, which would be cool. And I think there was 2 Lumineth characters showed off, which they don't have teasers for here. I'll see if I can find it in the...
If you on the video player, you can click and drag through it, and you basically just get images.
So there was a Lumineth man on.
There's a lot I want to talk about in this video.
Yep.
It's so much. So the Lumineth, firstly, Lumineth range is like a painful one for me. There's so much to like in the range, but there's so much to fucking hate. Like, the spears and the archers are genuinely my favorite infantry GW have released. They're fucking amazing. The spears especially, they're literally 3 inches. You don't have to measure range for these bad boys. The spears are their range.
Yeah.
They can they've got... I didn't even know this about the way they play. They have literal rules where they get bonuses for having a base. If you're in base contact with 2 other bases, you get a buff. So they fight in ranks, and they get buffs for it. There's so much to like about these models. They're great. Then their characters, in my opinion, except for the Light of Eltharion, what's his name? Yeah. Except for the Light, I think almost all the characters look kind of shit. I guess the only other exception is the mountain dudes. I kind of like the mountain cow things, but I understand.
I like the cow things. I just didn't think they should have been elves. I thought
they're not. It's because they're the elemental army, right? That's what the light elves are. The elemental elves, the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I like that, but I think that the elemental specific elf dudes rather than the mountains all suck. Like the hammer boys, the characters are all really bad. I'm just not a fan.
That's fair.
In this video alone, though, this man riding a cloud, that's a cool aesthetic I can get behind. Like a fucking Nimbus cloud, yeah.
And it looks like it's coming out of his staff.
Awesome. And then I can't help but think that...
It's a man riding a llama or a chicken.
It looks like it's got scales at the front that could be armor, though.
No, that's
it gives me like gives me like Chocobo vibes.
Kind of. I can see that.
Yes.
I can kind
And
of see
I know
that.
what you mean.
Because this is 100% right. I'm putting money on this. This is the air elemental dudes, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Wind
Perfect,
Temple.
perfect,
We've got the
perfect
Earth
contract for the
Temple.
stone, the Earth Temple.
Oh, it's Aang.
So, if this is done well, I would be getting Lumineth, like 100%. Because it just because I already like the new stuff. Obviously, they're a bit expensive. That's the main thing. They're way overpriced. But if this is good enough for characters,
Yeah.
I'm in because it's just cool. And then the problem with that is that the next model in the video, and the next two models in the video,
Yes, the supposed looking vampire hunter looking.
yeah, the guy who looks
dead?
like a vampire hunter with two sets of stakes on his hips.
I think there's actually
fucking
3 models they're showing off there.
No, it's 2.
No,
It's
because
2,
the
it's 2.
guy. The guy
it is
who.
3, it is 3,
yeah, it is
sorry.
3.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
a
Because
skeleton
there's the
as well.
broken
So-
shield, which is
Oh,
probably.
wait, yes, I was thinking
There's the
yeah.
zombie man who's got like the axe,
I just thought of something.
and
that I
then
hadn't
there's
thought of
obviously the
before.
person with the hammer and stake.
So, I've got 2 hunches on what this is. There was a main hunch, which is the more obvious one, which is this could just be an underworld set, honestly, because part of me thinks these are too detailed to be proper
Yeah, I
Sigma
agree with
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
absolutely.
The guy with the stakes is genuinely like, I don't know what he is, but he is already one of the coolest models they've made. I absolutely love his aesthetic. Then you've got what is, I guess, just a shield and a spear for a skeleton dude, and then you've got Mr. fucking Bloodborne Zombie Man, who
Yeah.
looks like he's
Father Gascoigne.
Father Guskin himself, right? So these are either all underworlds. If so, they're 2 separate factions. But the thing is with that doesn't match up with the roadmap we have. So that would be the next season. But do they do a season every year for underworlds?
I think it's supposed to be every year, yeah.
I thought it was every 2 years, but I might be wrong.
But we wouldn't be getting a new season until like quite late in the year.
Right. So the other thing could actually be, and I've literally just thought of this, is what if the next Warhammer quest is Sigma?
Yeah. Could
Oh,
be.
that's true. Actually,
These
that's a very
would
fair
work
point.
so well, and honestly, I'm down if that's what it is.
I'm
because
surprised
these
none of us
models-
thought of that.
I only
beforehand.
just thought of it. But these models are phenomenal. Like,
Mm.
I want to see more of them and know what they are really badly so I can, plan my fucking year around it.
I
'Cause
mean,
it's just
especially
like,
if we look at how successful Blackstone
Oh.
Fortress was, because
Fortress
considering
is
how
good fun.
how many expansions they brought out, I never played the game personally. I know
good.
Alex and George have, and they
Pretty good.
kept releasing expansions for it. They released so many expansions for that game,
mm-hmm.
and
good
the last one
expansions
we
as
had
well.
before that was Silver Tower. But that was like the first kind of experiment for doing another Warhammer quest.
Yeah, they're nowhere near as good as Blackstone Fortress from what I know. But
Blackstone Fortress showed that they have a solid rule set, they have a solid kind of franchise brand for that, and with the amount of expansions that came out, that was worth people's time. Which means that if they do another Age of Sigmar one, which obviously is a slightly not as Age of Sigmar is not as popular as 40k, that's understandable, but this is a really good route into the world, especially if it is a Warhammer Quest thing, because it technically is a board game.
I would enjoy the story in Age of Sigmar 1 way much more than I would in Blackstone. Blackstone Fortress,
we never got played it enough to even hit the
Yeah.
story things, George. So it
True.
doesn't count.
True. But for 40k, no matter what it is, even if it's important, doesn't feel important to me.
I guess I kind of agree with that. It's an annoying kind of thing of, especially when a lot of things just aren't happening.
Viking Awakening did an awful job of that as well.
Yeah, that
They
they've
just reiterated everything. Yeah.
yeah, because like in reality, like we've had the entirety of 8th edition, and the start of 8th edition was Gulliman waking up and him doing the Indominus Crusade, and then 9th edition, he's done the Indominus Crusade? He hasn't done the Indominus? Like, what's happening?
He's in the middle of it.
It's
In the middle of it,
during, like, it's
they've
not,
retconned a lot of
it's
stuff
really
there.
not clear because they keep going back on themselves, but at least with Age of Sigmar, because they completely wiped the slate, we are actually seeing story progression, as you wrote with the Marathi book. Alex, you said that there was so much in there in terms of
a
fluff,
lot of cool stuff. Yeah.
Loads.
and it's advancing the
Anvilgard
story.
doesn't exist anymore. You can run a Cities of Sigmar Anvilgard army, but the city doesn't exist anymore.
It's
It's
gone.
Spoilers, George. Jeez.
Arcuran, yeah.
Spoilers.
I mean, people will
Looks
find
good,
out. Like,
so-
it's been out for long enough
Yeah.
for it to not to be a spoiler.
Yeah. If you care, then you would know by now.
So yeah, no, I think I actually agree. Thinking about it now, maybe Warhammer Quest is probably a good idea, and having like a vampire hunter thing means they can keep that range quite small.
Yeah, and they're not relying on their brand too much then, which is why Warhammer Quest was actually quite good in Blackstone Fortress, because it wasn't like there wasn't a space marine and stuff, right? It was just a dude. He was
It's
a
just a
rogue
man.
trader.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and like there was the priests were cool, and then there's like an Eldar Ranger stuff. It was honestly the way the party was set up in that was pretty much exactly the same as a Warhammer Quest thing would be, right? You had a trader, an elf sniper, you had your halflings,
You had a
and then you
Kroot.
had the priest from
Oh,
Priest
is
of
this the
Sigmar.
Silver Tower one? Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, you had a Kroot and stuff as well. But what I mean is like, it was like you had the standard. It was very much the standard set of what you'd expect. Like they
A
mirrored the very
ragtag
well.
group of people in the Warhammer 40k
Yeah.
universe just trying to get by.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, a ragtag group of people in the 40k universe is a reskin of what they would be in the fantasy universe. Is what I mean. It
No,
was
that's
so
true.
similar
It's a
anyway.
fair point.
But it was good. It's a really good game. I think it would be better in fantasy though.
Yeah, it probably fits a fantasy aesthetic better.
And a vampire one would be cool, but
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
see. It's probably Underworlds, but
It could be Underworlds. It could be either. Like, we honestly don't know. But it is something to relate to do with death, because we have destruction being. I mean, destruction's a pretty vague term. Decadence obviously being Slanesh, and then death being very, very specific. But
Yeah,
it's the most
it's fun.
vague. It's a vague term, but it's also the specific term in relation to Sigmar. Because that's an entire grand alliance is death. You know.
there's no
Yeah,
just.
so
There's
is
literally
destruction.
zero destruction. The only destruction in that thing is the Titan, though.
The Titan and maybe what the Admech are doing, I don't know. And for God's sake, GW, please show me what this pissing Skitari Alpha looks like. Please. You've teased this for 7 months.
He just looks like a Scitarius. That's it.
Yeah, it's a Skitarius and he's got a wand. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me have his fucking rules and let me have his fucking codex, please, you bastards.
He's gonna look as much of a sergeant as the Palatine looks.
Yeah,
So-
just a
Yeah, and
sister.
yeah, I know.
But don't
and
you
that makes...
suppose he should have 4 arms, though?
Yes,
If
he
he's
should.
got, if it pans up and he's got 2 pistols, just like
Over his shoulder.
shoulders,
Banger. Absolute
I'll cry.
banger.
but
But like, because I just mean like
He'll
in
cry
the
live
lore,
on stream.
a Primus has 4 arms, literally in the Skitari book, right?
yeah, in the book Scitarius, the
Yeah.
Alpha Primus has dual wielding arc mauls and dual wielding arc pistols, and
So
just
cool.
just goes to town, and it's the coolest thing.
See, this is the thing, is that at this point, all I'm worried about now is... It's just because of the timeline of everything, so I'm assuming... My guesstimate, I still believe is correct, of being... Admech, I think we're probably going to get either March or April. That's probably my guess,
Yeah.
and Orcs are not going to be far off from there either. Because we already know the Orc Codex is coming, because they were in the group of models that was shown off originally. And when I said that with Sisters, everyone told me I was fucking stupid. So, haha, maybe. I might have proved you wrong, I don't know yet. I don't know how much else there is to say. Like, we've just been gushing over this, over the Slaneshi stuff, and they have getting a codex, and it's coming out in February for people that are interested. It's a very wide range. Everything else, we just have to wait for announcements. Like, we don't know when they're going to be doing another live stream. Obviously, things are still chaotic. Warhammer Day is April, usually? When's the...
I don't know.
Oh, is it June? LVO is June. Actually, no, there would have been LVO over the end of January as well, actually. That's a point, because the last LVO was... Yeah, it was January, because that still happened. Before
It was like
Rona.
the last thing that happened, right?
Yeah, it was before Rona. So... Maybe we hear something at the end of January, who knows? They haven't said anything yet. It's doubtful.
Oh god, that was a year ago.
Yeah, that was a year ago. But then we just have to wait. In all honesty, we just have to wait. And the things we don't have to wait for, or at least things to tide us over right now, is we got just a giant dump. I'm gonna call it the large question mark FAQ. It's
is
the
an
first.
FAQ.
It's the first. It is the well. We've had an FAQ since 9th edition has launched for 40k, as we transition into that topic. But this is a larger addressing the rulebook, scoring mechanics, and point costs.
Yeah, it's not like the big FAQ. It's just
it is hence why I say large question mark. It's not the big one. It is a large, because it is an entire new set of points for every army. Changing the way how the
every army is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Oh no, but I'm saying a huge list of, because there would have been changes in every army's been affected. You know, they've got some sort of. They've all had maybe a change. I am not going to sit here. I'm going to wait until some fucker on Reddit posts the spreadsheet of what the changes were, or wait until Battlescribe decides to have a different.
Most people haven't had point changes though. It's only like a few things like the Space Marine stuff that would have the costs in. So there's not much point changes.
Yeah, but like, it's still something to be mentioned.
Yeah, it's like most things have had like one line of FAQ and that's it.
I mean, I was talking to a Tyranid player earlier, and they said they had Tyranids had a few changes, and things got cheaper for them. So like, there's probably going to be slight point increases, slight decreases. We're not really going to talk about that because we haven't really had it. This literally dropped. As the time recording, it dropped today, and it would have dropped about 3 hours ago when we were in a Blood Bowl game. So yeah. What we will at least talk about is, because especially when it came to a lot of the FAQs for the rulebook, codex, and expansions, a lot of them were a lot of clarifications. Especially in the rulebook, there weren't many rules changes that I saw. It was just clarifications of how some things work and how the rare rules work. But one thing we can at least talk about is Eradicators went up in points, not by much. They're still going to be everywhere, so don't expect them to go anytime soon. They went up to 45 points a model instead of, how much were they before?
Oh shit, sorry, I completely misunderstood. I didn't see the Minotaur manual thing with all of the fucking different armies of points changes.
Yeah. So,
my bad.
Outriders went up in points, which means the Deathwatch Outrider bomb, if that was ever going to be a thing, is going to be a lot more expensive now, but probably not by much. Eradicators are not going anywhere, and the last tournament list that I actually saw was mostly Sisters with Retributor squads with Melters, and a Space Wolf detachment nearby, to kind of get around not using Eradicators, because, you know, Retributors, maybe in that person's opinion, are arguably better. I don't know. Apparently the Catan Shard changed as well, went up. Things went down. Like, again, it's not been out long enough, at least for us, to have gone through it while we haven't had time, and also this podcast already started off on a rough kind of technical note. We definitely don't know. What we can at least talk about is how the first turn and last turn has changed. First turn, and I want to point this out, this is only for anyone playing the Grand Tournament Mission Pack, so not the ones out of the core rulebook. This is out of the chapter-approved Mission Pack they released at the same time as 9th edition launched, which a lot of players have agreed is a decent set of games, and there's quite a lot of them. Right? It's a good healthy injection. You're not just playing that, but it had some scoring differences. Main thing is, and this may end up becoming reflected in the main rulebook, I don't know, because obviously that things have changed over time. First turn will always now go to the player who wins the roll-off. There is no seized initiative. There is no deciding who goes first. You roll off, and if you get the roll, you go first, without question. And they've said that they have done this to cut down on analysis paralysis at the start of the game, to just start the thing off. I can agree with that.
That's fair.
That's an entirely fair statement to make, because as we can tell with 9th edition, they are trying to limit the amount of dice rolls that people are doing on average to make the game faster and more accessible. That makes sense. It also means it's going to definitely change how you deploy. Because if you're going to be, it is a pretty much a 50-50 fucking chance of whether you're going first or not, and you deploy and you think like because you can decide like, oh, I will deploy, so I'm going second. You just know you're going to do that, so you hide everything. You know you're going to go second, regardless, because either you win the roll off and you get to choose to go second, or the other person wins the roll off and probably decides, I want to go first, like for things later on. Fair enough. You can already preemptively kind of calculate that. Now that it's forcing you to, there's like, it's a 50-50 whether you are or not, you need to take that into consideration for your first turn deployments. And that is a good change. I agree with this change.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically just saying, get on with it.
It's just, yeah.
Get back. Basically, hey, remember what it was like an 8th? There we go. At the end of 8th.
Which wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
It was good. Yeah, it's good.
But the thing is, when you had the seize the initiative thing, that
Oh,
kind
God.
of fucked with it.
I'm so happy they got rid of these.
Yeah. Like,
It was kind of like a traditional thing almost, but like Jesus Christ, it's got annoying.
yeah, I know it's actually also a thing in Horus Heresy, and most people just don't use it. Which makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, I got the 6. It's like, okay, well,
Unless you play Alpha Legion.
that's your Alpha Legion.
In which case you get bonuses to it, so you've got to use it.
Oh yeah, that's true. It just added more complication, and I feel like it's one of those things that didn't really help the health of the game.
Oh no, it was bad. Like
So, yeah.
it was just a case of you got this awkward situation where, like, you'd prepare to go first, and then you wouldn't go first, and then you were really, really close to them, and they would just fucking mince you, right? Like, you're out of cover, you're just not in a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I can spend 2 CP for prepared positions.
It's like it's
Cool.
it's really really cool for the player
Person who
has
rolled
it.
the
For the other player, it just sucks. Like it's not a fun rule in any way, shape, or form for the person on the receiving end of it.
So you just have to, at that point, as long as you take that into consideration, of like, it's that extra thing you have to think about, which you shouldn't need to. So at least now it's a change, and it is only for anyone playing the Grand Tournament Mission Pack, which I think is most players, if they are actually playing, because those are very balanced missions. And they've got...
Probably.
Well, because they are specifically for competitive play. And if you're running a tournament, you'd be running these missions, you know? So, which is good, you know, it's just making sure that the competitive side of the game is healthier. Extra thing, we'll go into the primary and secondaries real quick. Primary objective scoring in the final battle round has changed so that the player going second scores at the end of their turn instead of the start of their turn. Actually means that people can play out their last turn.
That's cool.
Because at that point, it's like, because you're always going to turn 5. It's never going to be a thing of, oh, I roll, maybe we get turn 6 and I get to score. It's like, no. Once the first player is gone, you know exactly how many points they have. You can't really do anything. It's about just maximizing your points. And as long as you get to score,
it's a wasted turn.
It is a wasted turn for whoever goes second. So this is a good balancing thing, because there was the whole, statistically, if you go first, you will win. You know, because as long as you score at the end of in your last turn, fuck the other player. They can't really get anything.
It's a step in the right direction, but like, it's not gonna fix it, I don't think, right? Because
I
if you
don't
go
think
first,
it's fixable.
Yeah,
I honestly don't
true,
think it's
but,
fixable.
That's true. Because if you go first, you're just gonna get to the objectives and hold them for longer, right? So having a last turn will help a little bit, but they probably still held it a lot longer than you have. So
having the last turn.
It's harder to be shot off something. Like if you're shot off an objective, you can walk back onto it.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
It is only the final round, right?
Yes.
Only the final turn, though. Yeah.
So yeah, for the rest of the game, you are still being beaten up.
Yeah, and I say on turn like 2 in round 1, it's essentially your opponent moves on to the objectives and secures them, and then shoots you, and then on the other turn you move on to the objectives, and then
shoot
shot
back.
at.
Yeah. Or sometimes again, not me even get to shoot back. But I think again, this is a healthy change. This is a good change. This is as they kind of point it here, it's like it makes the game interesting and worthwhile for both players in the final turn, because at least the person who's going second can have a clear plan and they know they can still score objectives. Because if they're like, oh, you've shot me off the objectives, oh, well, I'm not going to play this turn out, I've lost. Like, I can't win. But there are always situations of, you may as well play out your last turn, because you may pull objectives out. And there's actually also a benefit to go second. Because you can kind of think ahead. If you know for a fact you think you can wear the army down, get to that point, it's like, right, I'm second now. I knew I was going to get to this point. You can kind of plan ahead if you're somehow that big brain. I wouldn't, because I'm an actual gorilla, but that's why I play things like Deathwatch. You know, because gorilla. But it's good. It's a good change, and I think especially for competitive play, we're going to see more of those last turn clutch, like last turn clutch come outs, or the hidden unit that reappears and saves this person the game, that kind of thing. There's going to be more back and forth. Secondary objectives also have a few changes. Bring It Down went down in victory points, thank Christ.
Yes. My Poxmonger's Death Guard list is going to be a lot better to play when I eventually get to play.
Yeah. The victory points for Abhor the Witch also went down, as people playing Grey Knights and Thousand Suns were screwed. Because there was an auto take against those. You could especially for, you know, each of the squads was a psyker. You kill a squad, you get Abhor the Witch, and you also maybe get attrition. Like, there was too much. There was too easy to game it, and probably people playing those armies wouldn't have had fun. This, again, it's a good change. It needed to go down. Bring It Down as well, because everyone was like, well, I'm just not going to bring vehicles. Why would I? They're just going to sit there, get shot at, and they're going to be worth X amount of victory points. Like, it was 4 victory points per, or 3?
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's
a
though,
lot.
It was capped. So you either brought no vehicles or all vehicles.
Yeah.
But there's no. That's the thing. There's no in between. There's no in between. Because I'd like to have a mixture of units. Because I'd like to have, you know, a little bit of heavy support, a little bit of tank, a little bit of like scouting vehicles or something like that.
Have a real army.
An actual army composition.
Having transports screws you over so much with that.
And it's like, oh yeah, you know, transports are going to be really good this edition because, you know, putting them on objectives and this, that, and the other, and getting everything down the board. It's like, yeah, but that's just more things to bring it down. And you know, it's like, that's just giving your opponent a very easy, like, 15 points. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. It's a better change. I'm glad they've done it. I'll probably end up playing more of the Grand Tournament pack when I can, because there's just more going on. But I also need more terrain and a new battle mat, so yeah. On the FAQ front, did anyone want to bring up anything specific to army stuff? Because I never really had a look at it.
Yes.
Right.
We know how many points Plague Marines are.
Do you think that's not going to change before their book?
No, because there's some pre-order preview this Sunday, so it's not going to change. I assume. Why would they bother changing the book?
Makes sense.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't.
Right, so yeah, let's have a talk about that.
But we're paying 4 points for an extra wound. That is fantastic.
That's
it's 21 points. So nice.
You're reducing the damage by 1, then that's so scary.
Gas Space Marines, Death Guards. There we go.
Plague Marines are gonna be so good.
Plague Marines, yeah, 21 points a model.
Plague Marines, they're Plague Marine army.
Imagine having that. Also, Death Guard cultists. Anyone else notice that? Was that a thing before?
Nope, they were just cultists.
But now they specify Death Guard cultists.
So that's what they're doing now. Like those in Thousand Suns, if they have something that's just ported over, they're putting their name in front of it, so they're actually going to be a different data sheet now.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. Cause for
it means they can give them faction rules.
Yeah.
So now they have access to the contagion stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When will they make? When are they going to come back though, and then give some love to actual chaos?
Nah.
The core book.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Never. It's not going to happen.
Evan, are you the same? Do you still miss the days right at the end of 7?
Traitor Legion. I have read Traitor Legion a total of 6 times in 9th edition alone.
Oh, dude,
I go back to that every week. It's my favourite book.
I'm just imagining you've got it on a pedestal with a glass dome over it in like.
You're like, one day.
That should be like, you should have your word bearers all around it defending it.
Yeah, yes. That makes sense.
It was so weird that they made that book. It was so well received, and they like missed the mark in 8th with a lot of the stuff. But the new stuff does seem like they get improving so much more. So I can't wait to see what they do with Chaos.
So,
honestly, I'm willing to wait.
Yeah, I want to point out.
I want to wait.
I want to point out as well. It's like, hey, Abaddon finally got what he wanted. He took down Cadia, you know, one of the main planets. Let's make their rule shit for an entire edition. as punishment for the thing that we made them do.
It's because they're tired.
They're
Right, so
sleepy.
I have a theory. This might be my chaotic aligned head being very optimistic, but I'm feeling that they're going to get a, like Legion supplement Space Marine style release later in the year.
Yeah,
I hope.
100%.
That would be awesome.
If they do that, I'm buying every book, and I'm going to use all of them.
If they do that, my Alpha Legion are coming back.
Oh,
There you go, GW. That's a bribe
Alpha,
right
Alpha
there.
Legion supplement better be like, you can have this unit of Primaris.
that would be funny. That would make sense.
Especially
as well.
with like, come on, you may as well treat the fans a bit, especially the ones.
Yeah, all the conversions they're doing as well.
Yeah, the Instagram. If you look at Omegon's Wrath, holy shit, it's so good. Ah, man.
Can you imagine if they just put like one sentence in the Alpha Legion like rule, and it was just like, you could use any Space Marines Codex, Space Marines Adeptus Astartes model or datasheet.
Just any.
Just any.
Any
Yeah,
of them.
that'd
Fuck
be
it.
funny.
And then you take
Cool,
Gilliman.
just go-
Yeah. Gulliver, what are you doing over here? But it was me.
You just borrow Tom's army and go, yeah, it's Alpha League.
It's like the Mission Impossible fake ass
Gulliman turns around and goes, "Do you remember when Gulliman went over and killed Omegon by himself? We do too.
We do too.
Gulliman died on that day."
It's been a
don't know.
pretender this entire time.
Alpha Legion and Primarchs are dead, but
There's so much in terms of the Chaos stuff that they're just not using, and I really hope, considering that the Chaos players have been the most vocal about the fact that them and Tyranid players have been fucking screwed the entirety of 8th edition.
Tyranid players are struggling to even exist at the moment, right?
That is also a problem. That is a problem
But,
that
like,
GW
Chaos
need
players-
to solve.
Chaos players, like, they're such a big part of, like... Chaos are the big enemy, right? They're the biggest threat. But then they're just, like,
No.
they're literally the reason that most of the stuff happens. But they just don't matter.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
sh-
kind
a
of
shame.
weird.
It's like, hey, you're not
Chaos
playing
is the-
Death Guard or Thousand Suns? Go fuck yourself.
Chaos is like the main enemy. Necron's like the scary, super advanced race, but they don't really fit in anywhere. But now they're they're like the 9th edition villain for some reason.
Yeah.
Not complaining.
You're pretty content about
Yeah,
that.
I'm loving it. Then you got Tyranids, which are supposed to be like the galaxy-ending threat, right? Who the fuck cares about
No
Tyranids?
one.
My
Blood
favorite
Angel
bit
players,
about-
kind of.
The whole
My
point of the
favorite-
silent thing is supposed to be like, guys, the Tyranids, they're really, really bad. Like we gotta sort this out. Get all the boys, wake everybody up. We'll get it sorted, and we'll take the galaxy back.
The Silent King's just like, get the lads in the van. We're going off to ball.
Yeah, and then, no one cares. No one cares about Tyranids.
No, why
It's
would
also
they?
with Necrons are back, right? And now they're fighting the biggest enemies in their history. It looks at smudge writing on hand. Space Marines?
It's just all smudged together. I think there's two words
I love
here.
Necron's the newest
Hang on,
one, but
let me rub this.
depression.
Oh wait, no, it's supposed to be Space Elves. Oh well. Like, what
Ah.
even is the Eldar when it comes to Necrons? Like, what?
Eldar aren't doing shit. They're just jacking off in a corner.
Yeah.
Being sad. I want to point
Dark
out,
Eldar,
going slightly back to the Death Guard stuff, some changes that we can at least glean from this that will probably be a case in the main book. Poxwalkers have capped to 20, not 30.
It was 20 anyway.
I thought
Yeah.
thought you could take them in 30s.
No,
Fifty,
no,
50.
that's the thing I hated about them the most, the Poxwalkers, is that they were stuck at 20.
Mm.
Cultists for 30.
So the
let's
fact they haven't
see.
changed that still makes me think that they're going to be bad.
Milistic, the Miasmic Malignifier, the terrain piece is 75 points.
They're so cheap.
That's really fucking good.
How much? 125.
75.
75.
Let's have a look. What's
But
that? Not
it might-
Defiler,
it might-
Bloodlust Crawler.
It might have two models, because it is two pieces. I don't know if you're paying for one of each or if you're paying for both.
I'm
Ooh.
assuming it
Both?
says unit size 1 model.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Deadly
I guess it's
pathogens
one-
have been
it's okay.
outlined in terms of how much they're going to cost as their
I
upgrade.
think
Most expensive is 20, and then it goes down to 15 and 10.
they'll count as one model though.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what it says.
And the reason for that would be because otherwise, you'd end up like you'd always take the biggest one, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you look at it, because of it is technically like it looks like two models. Its aura isn't going to be exactly circular. It's going to be like a circle with a small circle stuck on it.
I love like a lopsided aura.
Yeah. It's going to be really cool just to have like you're not within 6 of this, but you are within 6 of this one.
Yeah.
With
You
this
gotta make
little
sure
bit
you
of
don't go around the big vent. You just go around the
Yeah.
lower.
Yeah. Mortarion is 490 points.
He's the same.
Yay. Plague Burst Crawlers for Evan's list with Entropy Cannons is 170 points.
That's gone up 30 points, Gareth. 30 points.
Exactly, and you
Damn.
fucking deserve it. I know what
I've
list
not
you're about.
u-
I know what list you're trying to build. Stop it.
I've not used them yet.
I know, but it's the fact you're thinking about it. To be fair, also, we don't know what the plate... Like, we know that plate companies are a thing. They released an article showing off the one for the Poxwalkers, but we don't know what the vehicle one, which was the Poxmonger?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Foxmongers.
We didn't know because of that was like a quite scary list when that came out of, you know, pretty much invincible Plague Burst Crawlers. They needed to go up in points. You know, that's fair. I can agree with that. And Poxmonger needed to be nerfed into the ground, in my personal opinion. With disgusting resilient changes, and most likely also additional changes on that to how the play companies work, this is probably a good change. But also it means that you can use Defilers, which are also 165 points, with lots of upgrades.
As well.
Hellbrutes, 115 point base. Bloat Drones, 130 points. Malefic Blight Haulers, 140. Like, you've actually got options now, instead of like, well, this...
How much? Oh.
Malefic Blight Haulers, 140 points a model.
Oh.
See, I don't know if that's sad or if that's like he's rock hard right now.
It's not nice.
Which way?
My bones hurt. It's not nice.
Let's see. Blightlord Terminators, 40 points a
still don't
model.
They're
Death
too
Shroud
expensive.
Terminators, 50 points a model.
Okay.
Possessed at 24 points a model. Just Death Guard Possessed, which is cool. That in fact you can do that now. I didn't know you couldn't.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, but Biologus Putrefier, 65 points. Where's the new boy? Is that the Biologus? No, he's
Yep.
the
No.
Lord of Virulence. There he is. 120 points.
Oh, okay.
No upgrades, just 120 points.
So I think he's about the same as the Lord of Contagion.
Lord of
unless he's
Contagion
changed
is
much too.
also 120 points, and his Orb of
Man,
Desiccation
he's
is
cutting.
5 points extra.
okay.
There's...
The new guy's better than the Lord of Contagion, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, probably.
Because the
Well,
gun is
it depends
insane.
on the new rules, because the current Lord of Contagion does nothing.
If it does something, then it'll be a bit different. Like, Typhus,
Yeah.
165 points. Like, it's nice to see, especially when it comes to how a lot of these things are going to work. Also, Great Unclean One, 240 points.
I'm not even going to pretend to know what points they are now, because I don't like them.
No, that's fair. It's just, you know, because they're there. What's your...
That seems kind of cheap.
Epidemius, 105. No, that's, Epidemius is a Nurgle thing, isn't he?
He's the
Great
man in a
one.
chair.
Oh,
That
yes.
is
Oh no, he's managed.
Where's
That's Rotigus you were thinking about.
Right, that's
Nurglings
what
at
I was thinking
22 points a
No.
model.
Yes. 22.
Mm-hmm. Plague Bearers, oh, that's
Okay.
the thing. Plague Bearers are 9 points a model.
I think they've gone down.
They might have gone down.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
The reason I'm checking the other bit is more for, like, the extra characters, like the Bile Piper and, whatever his fucking name is. Sloppity Bile Piper. Rotigus, 270, that's the guy on the slug.
Rotigus is the Great Unclean one.
Yes.
Oh, it's the name of the
thinking
guy.
of
Orbiculus Slimux is the one.
Hereticus Slimer.
Yeah, Poxbringer, 75 points. Yeah,
I'm gonna
like,
have to
like
look at this.
these
I'm gonna make a
things are here.
spreadsheet
Yeah,
later.
make a spreadsheet for us. That'll be great. You know, these things exist, and we can only hope that everyone else's codex is on the way. I really want to see what the Admech codex looks like. I don't know how much their points have changed off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've played them. But the document is available on GW's FAQ for the Minotaurum Field Manual Errata. Make sure to check it out. Double check your points. if you are somehow using the 40k app, the points will be updated in a couple of days. As of the time of recording, it still hasn't been updated. Battle Scribe, most likely on the same timeline. Give it a week. Give it a week and they'll probably be all up to date. I don't think there's much else on that front we can really mention unless anyone plays Genestealer cults.
The points for the Nightbringer went up a little bit.
By how much?
20 points from 350 to 370.
That's fair, honestly.
That's a fair one.
Yeah, completely fair. He's super scary.
They made him.
They made him busted.
Yeah. The Canoptech Reanimator went down 30 points from 110 to 80. I take it.
I mean, it's a nice thing to have as a support unit now. Like, it's a cheap enough support unit.
I was saying it feels like it should be the same price as Cryptek, and now it is the same price as Cryptek. Well, before you give a Cryptek some toys to play with. But
yeah, which kind of makes sense. It's a very similar role that it's filling.
Yeah, just gets to wander around and like.
But like the thing again is that you can still spend that elsewhere, right? And it'd probably still be better spent elsewhere. So it's a lot hard. I think it's a lot hard take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tryostoker gained the quantum shielding keyword because it didn't have it before. Oops.
Big
actually
oops.
good. That's good though.
Yeah.
Right.
It still had quantum shielding. It just didn't have the keyword, so you couldn't deflect with it.
Oh, you can use the stratagem, right?
Because it actually didn't have the keyword.
Mm.
So it's got the shielding.
That's a weird one.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it until they added it. So.
What we'll do as well, just with this, we'll just do a quick rapid fire of some of the main codexes. Obviously, they've been updated for some reason. Tau have been updated just to add things like Shadow. The Imperium changes on classes of weapons have been affected on the Tau now, so some of the weapons have gotten a bit better, which is good.
Yeah, the relics I think got.
And stuff with the Psychic Awakening Greater Good has also been changed. Codex Space Marines, main thing. Combat Revival now cannot revive an Invader ATV squad. It took them 5 months to figure that out. When we told them the day it released, we told them that was not going to work.
They were definitely told before release, though, that's the thing, right?
And it took them 5 months!
Yep.
Well, it only took them 2 FAQs.
Yeah! Why? Oh, God. Let's see. Something about I think it's just a specific question about something to do with combat doctrine bonuses if you are kind of souping. I think that's a little bit there. Inceptors, Eradicators, and Outriders went up. Eradicators went up from 40 to 45. Outriders went from 45 to 50, and Inceptors went from 40 to 45. Because Plasma Inceptors, surprisingly, we were like, they're probably not going to be that great. They're still not that great right now, and then everyone's putting them in their list with Plasma. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but... Except for when they roll a 1.
That's also the problem.
Then you're losing 50 points.
Yeah, that's true. Also, apparently, the Guardian Spear and the Vigil Spear, they've changed the name of it. Cool. Right. Necrons. How much of a change was there in Necrons? Obviously, the Connective Reanimator and the Catan Shard. It was just that. And just the Quantum Shield.
And a couple power ratings changed.
Yeah, that's just to match the point changes. Harlequins. They have one thing.
Warlord trait changed, so there's no cap on how much MSPP. No. How much CP they can farm? There's no cap.
Oh,
You really do have like Blood Bowl brain work.
Yeah, it's because farming SPP is just that's a sentence in my brain. But no, yeah, they can farm CP as much as they want now with this. It doesn't it ignores the limit that the match play rules have in place, which is stupid because that one is like if you roll this. So it used to ignore it to the extent of if you roll a dice and it's the same as a number of command points spent on a stratagem, you get them all back. And you used to ignore the limit, you could have 2 back from a 2 CP stratagem.
Yeah.
Now you can roll for every stratagem you use.
Which is cool.
Great. And for Harlequins, who use way more stratagems than anyone of our army I've played, because they have so many fun tools for stratagems.
Yeah.
Great change. It's good.
It's tasty. Okay, Gene Stealer Cults, it was a thing for Brood Brothers when it comes to Crusade, which doesn't really matter at this point. I don't think many people are going to be playing Crusade until they get their book. But there's also something for the Perfect Ambush. Change the last sentence to read, this unit can either make a normal move or up to d6 inches as if it were your movement phase, even if it has arrived as reinforcements, or it can shoot with all its ranged weapons as if it were your shooting phase, or it can make a charge move. So Perfect Ambush before was they just arrive.
Everything but the charge.
Yeah,
everything but the charge, basically.
But now they are allowed to make the charge.
Yes.
Which is good. It's a good change, and they needed it.
It's good because you get 2 attempts at charging if you fail the first one. Then.
You don't get to move again, but you get to charge twice, technically. So yeah, cannot really complain about that. But Gene Stealer Cults need
prominent. It's good.
But Gene Stealers need a lot more help. So hopefully their codex helps with that. Chaos Demons is literally a question to make sure that Nurgling's squishable rule does not work against mortal wounds, and that is everything. I mean, okay, what was the Tyrannid one? The Tyrannid one was a thing specifically for Crusade for Mucilid, Spores, and Spore Mines, which means they don't get XP in Crusade.
No! Makes sense not to blow up.
Yeah, like, yeah.
If it does its job,
have the ultimate Spore Mine.
The penultimate, the new leader of the Hive Fleet, the Spore Mine.
Pass down the Spore Mines for generations.
Generations to come.
Man, the one guy that's just like crying over that change because he's got like a level 8 Mucilid Spore.
Somehow, how did he get a level 8 Mucilid Spore?
He gets one more game of it being level 8, and then it explodes, and it's gone forever.
So dumb. So, like, here's the main thing that we can at least glean from this, is that they are listening to an extent. It's just taking them time. And they also still don't know how to balance Eradicators. Because they still shoot twice, and 5 points is not enough, like, to really give them a dent.
I honestly think it's like a points changes is going to go so far. I genuinely think they should just be like, these no longer shoot twice.
They took it away from aggressors. Why would they give it back to Eradicators?
So here's the
which
thing.
Which is a worse unit to give it to.
If all aggressor units shot twice, when standing still, these can move and do it, which is even more like that's even stupider, right?
Yeah.
If they all had the old aggressors rule where they stood still and shot twice, even the heavy intercessors, I'd be like, cool, that's fine, as long as you're paying the points for it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But no, they took it from aggressors for no reason, and then they went, here you go.
They took it because they gave salamanders rules, and the salamanders were like, oh, hang on.
It's just bad. It's just really, I don't understand Eradicators.
It's a very, it's weird, it's odd, and it's. A lot of this it's just going to be things that you're just going to have to wait on. Like, if there's enough outcry and enough people are seeing it, then eventually it will probably get changed. And, like, aggressive became a huge problem towards the end of 8th edition because the Salamanders got their book, the Space Marine, just pretty much all the main Space Marine chapters got their books. Flamestorm aggressors were a nightmare because of how you could, like, still do a lot of damage with them as a salamander, or, you know, being able to really benefit from the Ultramarines chapter tactic with just the bolter ones, and just make them nuts. Like, you think about how long it took them to really deal with the Iron Hands problems. Like, we're going to be waiting a while for Eradicate's changes. Like, and it's one of those things I couldn't really, in good conscience, bring much. But in reality, I was thinking if I was going to... Yeah, like, in reality, if I was going to take mine in a list, it would be with the Deathwatch list, it would be the 5 Heavy Intercessors, 5 Eradicators, because of the fact I would be going to a tournament and I'd be trying to actually at least do decently. Because why wouldn't I take it? But when you're playing... when we're playing against each other...
Quantum shielding, but they changed quantum shielding, so I can't anymore.
Exactly. You fucking deserve it, you bastard. But, like, at least with... Like, when it's just playing with, like, if we were just playing against each other as friends, I just wouldn't feel right doing it. I'd want to just build a fun list to just, like, hey, let's fuck about for a while. Let's throw down some models and just have a good time, you know? Instead of having to just deal with Eradicators the entire thing. Like, it's just...
Eradicator free zone.
Exactly. Terminators, you know, dropping some Terminators down, having a charge and having a good fight, that's different. You know, because that's what they're built for. And it's also the way that either the charge can... There's so many things that can go wrong with a lot of other units. It's like there are things that can just go wrong, which makes them kind of more balanced. When you're looking at things like Outriders, where now in Deathwatch, obviously, you can take 5 of them. They're very fast. You're probably not going to fail your charge because you're going to have a chaplain on bike nearby. And they're going to be nuts in combat. It's taking so many negatives away from them. It's like, oh, this is like the perfect unit. Eradicators, they have barely any downside to them. Like, yeah, they have a slightly shorter range, but that's it. And also, if you're playing... There's no map really where you're playing lengthways anymore. You're always playing...
You've also just outflanked them.
What was... Oh, yeah, you could just outflank them, exactly. Like, there's just ways around it. You're like, oh, well, no, not on the board. Oh, there they are. They're going to shoot your thing. Bring it down. It's a question I want to know of why they thought, you know, the aggressors losing the rule was fine, but then giving it to a unit with Melter, which is a bigger problem. Well. Yeah, it's just a much better way to do it. Like, why? Why would you? Why is anything allowed to shoot twice?
For free, specifically.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if it's a command point, I don't care as much, right?
Or at least, like, but yeah, if it was a stratagem that they made, it's like, right, Eradicators, if you can't specify, it's like, right, you can shoot twice, but the only thing is that they can shoot at is what they shot at in the shooting phase.
Or it could have been like, oh, if you have Gravis armor, you can use the stratagem that lets you shoot twice. Yeah. That should have been what they've done.
That would have been great. Like a 2 CP stratagem to be able to do that. Yeah. 2 or 3. You know, like they made the fight twice.
Combat one.
Yeah, no, they made that too, but it's only for assault intercessors.
Oh right.
But that's the thing. It's like you limit it to a unit, so like you specifically limit it, and you give it a fairly decent cost to it, like 2 CP to make assault intercessors, which is already a good unit, and the problem with them is just getting them into combat. Allowing them to fight twice is a good thing. Because it's not an inherent thing. Gravis armor, being able to, like, spend 2 CP and they get to shoot twice with all of their weapons as long as they shot using the Tribulation, they can only shoot at what they had shot previously. If you split fire, you can't use it. Maybe something like that, I don't know. Some sort of clarification. Because then it forces people to think. It's just like, oh, I just motor your unit. Dead. Big thumbs up.
That's the sisters' mentality.
Yeah. But you can't shoot twice with them.
You can.
Can?
Sort of.
How? Oh, the Cherub.
Don't need to. You can use the Cherub, but like when you're adding +3 to your damage with these things.
You get an extra shot though. You don't shoot twice.
Yeah.
You shoot again. It's not an extra shot. You shoot again.
Oh, okay.
I know, but like you do it once. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact they double the shots on Melter guns, and you have the stratagem that gives you +12 inch range, +2 damage, plus the.
Yeah, but you're paying
think about
for a lot of that.
think about how much extra you're paying.
That's a reasonable way to do it because it does cost you something.
Yeah, and also sisters aren't like, yeah, you can hide them, yeah, you can put them in cover, and like they could still just easily be killed. They're only toughness 3.
Yeah, true.
Pop in a vehicle.
Yeah, you pop them in a vehicle, but that means it's a target that you need to focus on. But when you've got, you know, 3 Eradicators hiding behind line of sight blocking cover, they just waddle over to the side. Don't really have to worry about the moving and shooting penalty at any point because you most likely buff them in some way, and then, you know, shoot whatever, and most likely may probably have a chaplain nearby to make them shoot better. Like, it's too easy for them to do so much damage, you know? And I really hope they change it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know how strong they are from a personal standpoint, so I don't know how big of a problem they actually are, because, like, yeah, they'll kill vehicles, right? But aren't you paying, like, what?
You're paying, like, what, 130, 40 points?
135 points.
Yeah.
For the ability to kill a vehicle, right?
Yeah. Oh, I think Tempestus went down in points. Sorry.
And then once you've killed the vehicle, you kill what, like 6 models a turn,
Roundabout.
if that.
If that, yeah. But, you know, it's just the fact of anything they shoot at is most likely dead.
Yeah, you can say that about a lot of Marines.
Yeah, it's a problem. There's ways around it, but it is still a problem, and I hope they get to the point. I mean, look, just a side thing going back to like the points changes. I just want the Guard Codex so I can get my Tempestus boys and have their 9th edition rules, and it'll be really fun.
I'm just saying.
Surely you
all
want
your
a Tempestus
problems-
Codex?
We're not gonna get an individual codex.
I think you will.
I think we're gonna get a.
Or a
we'll just get. We'll get maybe not even a supplement. I think we'll just get a bit in the Guard Codex, which is a Tempest like set
I
of
don't know.
things.
A supplement
I don't
for
know.
the God Codex would be interesting.
I think it would. To have all of the stuff that you got in Psychic Awakening, you'd have your own book.
Yeah.
That's true.
Same for Harlequins have their own book.
It'd be a very thin
they
book.
only have
you
a
would
few
have
more
more
units.
data sheets in that supplement than there is in like the Imperial Fist supplement or whatever.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but the thing is all the Tempesta stuff doesn't. There's barely any units, you know.
Right, it doesn't matter, but
Scions.
they have more rules.
You'd have more.
Oh, having more.
than
Yeah, no.
Imperial Fists
Like,
do.
it
right, in
could
their
go
supplement.
either way, but it's gonna be a while
And the-
before we get them as a book.
You'll get new stuff as well. Probably.
Yeah, I just want them. I just want my Tempestus boys. I like them, and I will.
The best test, I think, could use another kit.
They could use more.
Yeah.
They could use more.
Just one more kit, and I think they'll be nice. They'll be nice and like maybe like a heavy weapons team or an elite team. And I guess I know that they are the elite team, but
the
like
elite of the elite. Hell yeah.
like specialists. That
Hey, Tempestus Walker. Tempestus Sentinel.
Tempestus
Ooh.
Sentinel.
Yeah, no, just more things that you can give the Tempestus
want-
keyword to, you know?
Okay,
I
if
want
you're
a
doing
Sentinel.
Tempestus Sentinel, it needs to be able to fall from the.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want a
Drop
Sentinel that can
Sentinel.
drop.
Oh, yeah.
Sentinel that can drop out of a Valkyrie.
Fuck yeah, I'd love that.
Oh yeah, literally
I'm
hang
I'm
on
sure
the back
that's
of the
never been
Sentinel.
made before, or has not been taken off of any stores.
Or
Yeah.
make the battle cannon on the Taurox better. That would help.
Yeah. There's definitely never been a drop walker that they didn't remove from Warhammer. Rest in peace.
You know
Or
the
the
Forge
The Wasp, the
Valkyries?
Eldar Wasp walker.
Mm.
You know the Forge World. You know the Forge World Valkyries that's got like missiles under its wings. Just replace
The
those two
Vendetta.
missiles with a Sentinel each.
Yeah. To be fair, the thing is, I do want a Vendetta because of the list I have, but I think we
They're
probably
cool, man.
they are cool.
But-
Because
no.
it's given the Punisher cannons, and then have the Naval Fleet Officer, which gives them + 1 a hit, and that's 40 shots + 1 a hit on a big unit. Which then if you just damage a model, right? They cut half their charge and half their movement. Fuck you. Like that's all that's all it's there for. But it's cool. Like yeah, I'm playing a lot of CP for that, but I do not give a shit. And I think at that point, when we're talking about models, it's time to probably move on to models that we did this week or over the holiday period, because it has been a while. And we are coming up with the last 10 minutes of the show. So, who wants to start us off with what they've been painting? George is currently painting something right now, but a picture would be preferable.
No. It's these.
It's those.
Hold on. Let me do it so I can actually see my own camera when I'm pointing it. It's 10 Hex Wraiths. This is a finished one. With my terrible camera.
Ooh.
So I'm going to take a picture of it. in a second.
Alright, Alex just moves from his screen and you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
show all of his Your chair's still there though.
Yeah, look. Oh, right, that's what you meant.
Your chair's
got
still
the
kind of
large
glitching
boy.
in. So you got the Vermin Lord there in the back.
I've also put it in the chat, dude. So,
I was gonna say, yeah, if you put it in the chat, I can. You have to maybe go to Instagram, you bastard.
Yeah, because it's posted on Instagram. Easier, you know?
I know, but I'm still trying to sort out my is it? There we go. It's this one, right? There we go. We have Vermin Lord Boy. It's because I'm trying to get the overlay to work at the same time, and now the other overlay is screwed because I. There we go. All right, there we go. We have got a. We got the boy. We have got the.
Yeah, my Vermin Lord, Planscry Vermin Lord's conversion boy.
He looks really nice.
Like, yeah, I'm happy with how the cannon turns out. Cause
Oh,
I
the
just,
cannon.
you know,
Yeah, the cannon looks sick.
So I just slapped that on. I trimmed down one of the other blades to work as a handle for it. But yeah, I went for my pale boy, and as you can see, it's like, wait, shit. Let me actually look at myself at the camera. Yeah, because they're supposed to like have a similar color scheme to these boys. Like here, if I just fade away,
as he kind of indicates into the background for the audio listeners,
Yeah.
of he's got Storm Fiends that he's painted in a similar kind of color scheme. If you look
Pale-
at Raymer_Warhammer on Instagram, you can see what
Yeah,
we're
you
looking
see
at.
it. So pale rat
Pale rat.
with white hair, lots of brass, stone armor. That's the general vibe for it. So I managed to do the same on the big boy.
Nice. It looks
with,
really
like,
good.
red cloth.
It looks
Yeah, no,
real good.
I literally just a single New Year's Day trance. So I spent like the entire fucking day just painting one model. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with that. Like that's just my entirety of my rats done for now for a while.
Yeah,
But like
you've kind of had a good point where you
Yeah.
can just be like, oh, we
he
can.
did, we did play a game, me and George. It did do absolutely shit. Like it absolutely bombed. It cast 2 spells. And they were both shield-a-thons, which isn't even its own spell. Like it didn't do anything of use. There we go.
I'm pretty sure
Like,
it
it was-
both casts and then as an extra cast Shield of Thoughts, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was awful. And then in combat, it like had 6 attacks, hit 6 times, and wounded twice. It didn't do great, basically. But you know, that's just new model syndrome. If you got a new model,
It does absolutely nothing.
it's not gonna do well.
Hence
but
why if
now
you
I've
turn
done
up to a
these
game with an
boys-
entirely new painted army, you're going to
Exactly.
lose.
But so now I've done those boys. Next is for me to get the basic materials to start on my chaos, which the chaos, the codex, the Slaves of Darkness book, and the Chaos Knight on the Chaos Lord on horse came today. So
Yeah.
now I actually have 2,000 points, but none of it is built.
But that's going to be a big
So-
project for you, so we'll be looking at that for a while.
Yeah, but I also received a late birthday present, which was a Celestial Hurricanum. So now I've already got the model for my next army after Chaos.
Oh, sick. You're planning
so,
ahead.
Yeah, so I've all got to go through this now.
Oh, no.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
It's
so-
gonna be. It sounds like it's gonna be a fun time.
I also finished my Blood Bowl team.
Oh, true.
But I don't think I have a picture of that. That's accessible at the moment.
You have some of them that we looked at before.
Yeah, but
on
they're all
your
done
Instagram,
now.
which is Raymer_Warhammer on Instagram,
Yeah.
and you can also find him on Twitter at Raymer_NS. For
And there
Night
might not be an
Sphere?
underscore, but I have no idea.
Pretty
You're
sure.
probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Okay, so I'll quickly go on to mine real quick, because it's another army that we've seen previously as I open up the pictures, and completely mess up for the video viewers, because I am professional. I definitely have this under control. Let's just grab those. There we go. Right, so we've got... Oh, God. I went to the wrong channel. I was trying to click back onto this one so I can pull the cameras back in, but we've got my 3 more ogres. These are just normal Jotun gluttons or Jotun linesmen. Really happy with how these turned out. There are still things I haven't finished on them yet technically, but I just wanted to try and get them to a point where I was really happy with them being done. Mainly because hence why like the skull's not highlighted properly. A lot of it is just dry brushed over, which is fine because I'm happy with that. I'm really proud of how it turned out, but you know there's still more I could do, and I don't want to go completely overboard at the moment because trying to do them to like above tabletop standard for me is a lot when I've just got lots of projects that I want to do and I don't have a lot of time. So we've got the 3 in the front, the main thing. I tried a new basing technique to try and up their basing, so it was using a lot less powdered snow, still using like a mud base, dry brush the fuck out of it with Ulth1 Grey, and then selectively put down glue so I can sprinkle the powder snow, which for anyone wondering is Army Painter's Battlefield Snow, which is quite powdery. It's very like granular. And then some Valhallian Blizzard in the middle on the tufts with some rocks on them as well. I think from the top down you can kind of get an idea of what I was going for. I'm gonna get some extra bits to try and add to this. Like I think someone recommended using some still water, which is like just like a clear modeling resin, which is a quick dry, and around the edge for the melted snow effect, which I think will really help. And it's probably not much extra that I would need to do. So yeah, but I'm super happy with how these are turning out so far. And I've got a stone horn to build now, so I'm gonna have the mammoth one, which I will be starting to paint on this week's Crafternoon, which is starting at 1 p.m. GMT on this Twitch channel, so twitch.tv/GazOfAllTrades. Use the hashtag Crafternoon as well.
With an
Crafternoon. One day I'll finish a project instead of just swapping between all the other projects.
I've been.
Oh shit! I didn't. The banner you did is really good. I haven't seen that.
Oh, the
Handed bearer guy.
Boy.
Yeah, really like that.
I need to put like
the basing with the less snow is so much better.
Oh, it looks way better.
Yeah, it's really good.
And look, we got Evan's Chaos Boys. As I
painted yesterday. I painted one of those Marines. Tonight I painted 9.
Oh my god.
That's how it
But
be.
look how clean they look. Fuck
It's only
me.
filling in the armor pieces. I got loads left to do. That's been my
Is that contrasted for gold still?
Yeah.
Yep. It's such a good way to paint them, dude. It works so well.
It's so nice.
I'll do a close up now.
To be fair, we're zooming in on the picture. Like the picture you sent is at a high enough resolution for us to get really good looks at these.
The obliterators look so strange.
Yeah, because the guys on the left, guys.
Look at them big feet.
Oh, you are. Yes.
Look at them big toes.
They're just nice, honestly.
And it's just doing all the fleshy bits.
It's so quick.
They'll
too.
really bring them together.
They're very, very gold.
Yeah, mixed gold, weren't they?
I sprayed them gold, went over them quickly with a quick layer of gold, and then Gulliman fleshed them.
Are they going to be that gold, or is there going to be less gold when you finish?
No, that's
the
it.
more you add.
Well, I mean, on the Marines, that is... Well, it's going to be a lot more silvery. The trim is gold.
Yeah. But obviously you're going to have to do
I guess, yeah.
I guess
the reason my brain is like, is because it's like, you've got the minigun on their shoulder is all gold, but like they won't be all gold, because they'll be other colours. Yeah, that's what my head's just like, something's wrong. It's like the wires are gold. But
That's
mate, it looks
so strange.
it looks so fucking... Yeah, like the Terminator, we know the Terminator looks banging.
And then this is just more of his mates, you know?
The Chaos Terminator is such a
one
good
grey
model. The new Chaos Terminators, man.
Oh, man, don't get me started on them. I absolutely love them. But it's one of every weapon. Please, give me an upgrade kit.
A multi-part kit, please.
Man, I miss the I just miss the upgrade kits and shit, and like having more options.
We may get those at some point, we'll see. But these look, I will say, what are you running them as? Red Corsairs, or are they...
Oh, no, I just painted them. They're just my own scheme. I've not named them yet. They're just that.
They're just this colour.
Yeah, I need to name them. I need to...
They look super sweet, though. You should be really happy with those. And you can find those on his Instagram, which is Confused Heretic, I believe. Is it spelt correctly on Instagram?
Yeah, at Go Heretic on Instagram.
Yeah, the links, the tags will be down below as well. So if you are watching this on YouTube, the links will be there. If you're listening to this on any of our audio platforms, the links should be in the description. If not, you should be able to find them as well. And then we got George's, when he's not looking at picture, we got some hex wraiths. As I quickly fix the layout again.
Lincoln description.
Lincoln descript. But I always love looking at George's specifically his hex wraiths, because of especially how he does that fluorescent green ghosty color is just really nice.
Yeah, just slap on Hexray fame.
Yeah, it just looks good. Like, regardless, it just looks good.
No, I just love the...
Plus,
did
did you do a dry brush on top of that as well?
Yeah, it's Hexray flame with Ulthuan Grey. I just mashed on top of it. Like, the entire model is just... Get a big brush, and just wrap it back and forth across the model.
It's looking good. Looking real sweet.
And
And I
pretty
think,
much do
yeah.
on the base.
And I think, boys, that actually brings us to our 2-hour mark.
Or buggers.
Yeah, big. We can't say well. We can say poggers. We can't just do PogChamp anymore.
No, PogChamp.
no,
It's just the emote is banned.
Yeah,
it's just the
yeah.
emote.
It's just the man in the emote is a bastard. So they're
So
changing
at
the
least if and when we get another an emote slot, we're gonna throw poggers on there. We've got them on the Discord ready, and it's gonna be tasty. So I think we'll do the closing. Yeah, we'll do the closing stuff now.
Yeah.
So I wish we had like an outro song. I wish John was back. I wonder. When will he come home
Well,
from the war?
silence. A moment of silence for John,
who's missing.
perished. Yeah.
We'll find him one day. But yeah, so that we're gonna call it there for the podcast. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and also thank my co-hosts at Raymer_NS on Twitter, Alex. RedChameleos, aka George, also on Twitter, and Confused Heretic on Instagram and Twitter, which is Evan. I'd like to thank you all guys for coming on and talking about Warhammer for 2 hours. We didn't even get to talk about the Blood Bowl stuff. That's just how excitable we were. But there will be a Blood Bowl related show on the weekend as well, because we are currently taking part of a league, and we will do an update most likely on Sunday if the game is actually finished by Sunday. So check out for that.
Like a league summary thing, guys.
Yeah, that should be fun.
I like to do that. It'd be fun. Talk more Blood Bowl.
So yeah, we'll do a league summary on Sunday. Crafternoon stream is obviously planning to go ahead, which will be Saturday. There may be a stream tomorrow, I don't know, but we'll see. Last couple extra bits. Make sure to follow all these guys on their normal social medias. All the links will be down below in the description of either the audio podcast, which is now going to be available on iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, and also most other podcast hosting websites, because we use a distribution, which is extremely convenient. You can obviously follow us on our socials, and that's about it. Am I missing anything?
No.
No.
What was that, George?
Is it Stan Luna?
Shut up.
Shut up. Right, we're gonna call it there. Thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you on the next episode of Off the Shelf Hobby Podcast.
But
Yeah.
Love you.
Ta-ra!